What is up, everybody? This is your boy, Teran Rodriguez, host of Set Point, here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that sports. I'm back with another interview before the NCAA men's volleyball tournament. And with me, I have someone who has been very, very good when it comes to doing this whole thing ever since I started doing this in 2024. And that is Larry Rather, Fort Valley State men's volleyball coach. Larry, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Excited to be out here again and to get a new group involved and continue the legacy of what we're building at Fort Valley.
Love it. I know you're busy, so let's get on into it. So another year where you all win the SIAC conference tournament, but it certainly wasn't easy as everyone threw the kitchen sink and so forth at you. What do you think was the most challenging part of this whole regular season and the conference tournament?
Yeah, I think the biggest challenge is, we were young throughout the year. We had 12 new guys this year. Our new players outweighed our returners. So, getting culture to be where we wanted it to be and guys learning how to win at this level was something that we knew was going to be a challenge, going to be what we had to work for all year, which is why our schedule was so tough as it was set up to kind of get them prepared of how to face adversity and how to build a championship mindset, which is, pressure doesn't break champions, it reveals them. And we've done a lot of work this year. And, our semifinal match against Edward Waters was a 5-set thriller that we were down 2-1 going in the fourth set and had lost the first 2 sets going into that fourth one. So to be able to be resilient enough to go through and fight and still find a way to win that match was a real, I would say, a real eye-opening but reassuring moment for our young guys of like, hey, we can do this.
So this kind of leads me into my next question. I want you to tell everybody how tough the SIAC conference really is, because some people probably just blow it off, where I think it's a really good conference. It's a tough conference, and teams are out to get you all and to beat up one another.
Yeah, we're only a year 5 conference, so we're still young compared to everyone else. So yeah, we don't look like MPSF or a Big West or a MEVA or EIVA. They've been going for a lot longer than we have, and they have a little bit more of a name and a title than they used to. Um, so I would say really our conference has gotten a lot stronger from where it started, and we're only getting bigger and we're only getting better with it as it goes. So like this year, our Waters has some really good talent and young guys. Central was putting together a group that will return next year. A lot of their key guys from last year or for this year, I'm sorry, were juniors. So they're returning a good core of their group. So, we'll be returning some guys, but we lose half of our starters and we bring in a new half, right? So we're still going to be in a spot where we're still at the top, but I wouldn't sleep on the SIAC forever. It's an infant, it's still a puppy, but this puppy is learning to bite and starting to get some of his big dog teeth.
I love it. So that was another team I was about to talk about, Central State. That was a team that pushed you to 5 in the regular season. What was kind of the good part of that match, and what were some challenges from facing Central State in all 3 matches?
Yeah, the good thing from that match was playing at Central. We played the whole weekend without Isaiah Finn. Zay was out with the flu during that match, and we had some guys who had to step up and play, and we got to see what they could do. And they did what they were supposed to. And they came and held things down and continued pushing the envelope forward of what is going to look like next year when he is not here, right? And that's the big question a lot of people are going to ask of, okay, he graduates now, what are they going to do? But we still have pieces. We have a depth in our gym and we have depth on our roster that guys can come in and help and still fulfill the role they need. But it was also a wake up call for when we got to the conference tournament of like, hey, these guys aren't here to play around. Like they're going to be good competition. We got to show up and play and treat them with the utmost respect as we would playing anybody else.
You read my mind regarding Isaiah Fed, because I did see in the box scores that he did not play, but good to know that you all can win without him and with him. So I want to talk about your non-conference schedule. You played
Mm.
a very daunting non-conference schedule, and I remember you talked about this with Joe McCurdy. Talk to me
Mhm.
about the non-conference schedule, and what do you think you learned from all those matches?
Yeah, our non-conference schedule was a grind. You know, it was open up with Queens, and then we had a couple, 4 or 5 days to get ready to go out to Cali and face four really strong top 20 teams, right? And I think by the time we got out there, three of the four were in the top 10 rankings, and then CSUN was around like 16. So, you know, a team that's only in its fifth year of um, being around and being able to face these programs that have been around 55, 55 plus years, and be able to go out and see what we're tested like and where we actually standing as a young program. And so when I say this puppy is starting to get his big dog teeth, that's what I mean, right? Like we did a good job of going out and seeing where we stood in that top 20. How do we compete? How far off are we? Where do we need to be better? Same thing with our BYU trip. You know, it was an experience for our guys to be in that gym and be in that atmosphere, which was awesome. And they talk about it all the time. But, you know, to continue facing the top 20 on a regular basis, it becomes the norm. So when we get into these situations of being at tournament, it's like, okay, we're facing Pepperdine, cool. We've seen caliber teams of the same, and we've played them, and we know where we stand with them. We know we need to be cleaner, where we got to be better, and places we can take things from a little bit more. So the whole non-conference is for us to go slow and figure out where the wrinkles were, where we needed to iron things out a little bit more. So when we got to conference, we could start really ironing those things out at a little bit milder pace on us to get a little bit better at it. So when we get to this time of the year where we're in the and we're in the NCAA tournament, we're now able to be fully prepared for what's to come at us.
Love it. And I just got to say, I commend you all for having such a challenging schedule. You played the likes of UCLA, Long Beach State, USC. You mentioned CSUN. You also played BYU. Those are some ringer teams that definitely were vying for an NCAA tournament spot and could probably, win their conference or certain conference matches on certain days. But I do want to talk to you about your team. Other than Isaiah Fed, who are some standouts from this year's team that really helped you all get out of some sticky situations?
Yeah, I think Tavian Martin has done a great job of taking the ownership in the middle and really wanting to be a defensive force of a blocker. We've been trying things with him on the right side, and we got him back into the middle when we have Keaton on the right now. And, Tay really bought into that and really felt like I can actually impact the match way more as a blocker than I can as a hitter, right? Especially in the middle of the court. And then you have Keaton Long on the right side. He's a guy that came in and he's starting to hit his stride now, which is what we wanted, right? He was coming from club in Arkansas, and now he's getting his footing with us, and he's got that footing, and he's starting to figure some things out and have a really good connection with Logan Rogers, our setter. And, he's doing some great things as a young setter for us that is really going to benefit us as years go and years come. And then Mohamed Imbe, like both of those guys in the middle of the court have just been dogs and just working for us nonstop all year, just trying to be as best as they can to be able to face these big boys like a Wesley, right? And these big bronze out here. And our guys are Tay's 6'8", but then you have Mo who's only like 6'4", but he jumps well. And he's being very offensive for us and doing a lot of really good things that are going to be something that is a strength for us for sure.
And then I want to actually talk to you about your libero just because, I advocate for liberos, hashtag justice for liberos. Talk to me about the libero play from your team and who's been standing out in that position.
Yeah, our libero position, we've been fluttering back and forth between a couple of guys, and we're going to see where we can get with things. And, right now it's our service lead. We're really on them about, hey, controlling your line, making sure everything is set up how you want it to be set up. And through our scout of what we're trying to do and how we're trying to attack things, and then defensively making sure they stay as the leader of the backcourt line, right? Our middles are going to control our front net of what we're doing in our block scheme, and then our defensive lids are going to be in the same, but more so for the backcourt of getting guys where they need to be. So they're 100% a backbone to our program and what we do, and they got to be a little gritty, and I think we have that and what we need.
It's always great to have a little grit when it comes to your team. So I actually do want to talk to you about the new NCAA tournament format. So it's now a 12-team format as opposed to being a 9-team format and 8-team format. What are your thoughts on the new NCAA tournament format?
I mean, I love it just for the fact of our bracket got expanded. And when things get expanded, you're in new territory. And so this is the new territory of what it looks like. And the region situation, it works out great. The only thing I wish would be a little better, that's hard to do, is knowing where your region is going to be a little sooner. But hey, it's first year, things always get figured out. They might get it to us a little sooner, knowing, and we can prepare a little faster. But and all in all, I'm happy with what this new format is bringing and what it allows for this men's volleyball community.
I love it. So, as for your opponent, you will be facing Pepperdine, really good team, a team that did lose in the MPSF tournament semifinals to USC. What will it take to take down Pepperdine, and what are your thoughts on facing Pepperdine?
Yeah, facing Pepperdine is going to be a battle of grit. Pepperdine is a gritty team. That's what I expect from them. I expect them to come in and be aggressive and be physical from the end line and take some really big swings at the net and do some really good things there. Um, but I think we can match it if we come out and we play our game. I think it could be a battle of serve path between the two of us and who can handle it the best and who can continue to go after it. I give Pepperdine their full respect. They've done a lot of really good things. They're the only team to beat UCLA, right, which carries a lot of weight. Um, but at the end of the day, we're now in the NCAA tournament. We're not in conference. We're not in regular season. Everything changes at this point. So it's really who shows up for these 5 sets and who comes to play and who can really take a couple of extra points here or there compared to their opponent.
Teran Rodriguez, host of Set Point on IE Sports Radio with Fort Valley State men's volleyball coach Larry Rather. Just a few more questions and then I'll let you go. So, have there been any funny stories or notable stories from this year in terms of your team?
I would have to ask my guys. I'm usually not the guy who's joking a ton because I get pretty serious when we get into the ball world. Um, but I think they just have a lot of really great experiences just from the trips we've taken. Just a lot of team bonding opportunities and growing as one another as we travel on the road, and that's really where all the stories will come from.
Got it. So, I do want to ask you this: if have you been to any good places in Muncie, and if so, where are the best places so far?
I was just telling my guys about this. If you want donuts and you are in Muncie, you better hit up Concannon's Donuts, the best donuts in the world you will ever find. I will always, if we were in Muncie right now, I would have bought at least 2 to 3 dozen. Like it is that good, guys. It is Concannon's Donuts right there off campus, and you will not, I promise, you will not be disappointed.
Love it. I will remember that if I ever go to Muncie. So, I will ask this. In all your years of coaching volleyball, what is your biggest volleyball ick?
My biggest volleyball ick is no effort. If you don't make a move for a ball and you kind of just watch it drop, I don't care if you're a middle or whatever position you play, effort is a choice. Effort has nothing to do with talent. Effort has nothing to do with skill or knowing how to play this sport. Effort is you going after it. So my biggest ick, it would be not giving effort on a ball that is very obtainable.
I think that was pretty much the same response that USC men's volleyball coach Jeff Nygaard had. So you two are on the same wavelength. So I've talked about your team and I've talked about you. Talk to me about your coaching staff and what they mean to you.
Yeah, I mean, my coaching staff is my father. It's pretty cool. It's something that I tell people this all the time right now. It's hard to truly grasp what this means because we're in the midst of battle every year and going through things. But, whenever he steps away or I step away or that time comes where we're no longer together, and I'll be able to actually sit back and be like, man, like that's something that a lot of people can do and say and know you have somebody who's always going to be there, support you, has your back 24/7. there's no one better as an assistant coach for me right now at this point in my career than my father. Like he knows this game extremely well. He's been involved in it since '81. He's been coaching since '91. Um, and so like I've learned a lot of what my base and my foundation is off of him. So now that he's with me, he kind of does a great job of getting guys caught up to where now when they get to me, like we can start running. Because usually we get guys who may not know volleyball or have a great IQ, and I start talking, and they just get even more lost. It's like Alan from The Hangover, where he's at the poker table and it's just numbers and everything flying around him. They're like, Coach, I'm getting lost right now. So he kind of gets them set up to have a better foundation, and they come my way, and then we just take off from there.
I love to hear it. So just a couple more questions, then I'll let you go for real. Fill in the blank for me. Fort Valley State wins the national championship if they blank.
If we play clean and aggressive. Fort Valley State will win if we play clean and aggressive and take points when they give us a free point. We have to compound interest and take another one or two from them at that time to really add a little pressure to them. I think if we can add pressure on their side of the game, if they can add pressure on their side, then that'll allow us to play a little more free and get to the things we want to get to.
Love it. And I know you're heading on the bus, but one last thing. Do you have any other shout outs or thank yous you want to give out to before we close this thing out?
Yeah, our alumni, Fort Valley State University alumni, Wildcat Nation, men of the 60s, a lot of these organizations have been big supporters of ours and helping us get where we need to go and allowing us the resources we need to be able to compete with these Division I programs. So all of our alumni is who we really want to give a big shout out to right now for their support and heavily into Wildcat Nation and men of the 60s.
I love to hear it. Well, listen, Larry, thank you for your time. I appreciate you making it work and squeezing in a little time for me to interview you. It really means a lot. Best of luck to you all in your NCAA tournament match against Pepperdine. He's Larry Rather. I'm Teran Rodriguez, and this is another Set Point on IE Sports Radio interview. You all have a great day, and I'll see you all soon.